Hello everyone. Very excited to start a new video series about OrbisDB. So in this episode, we will mainly focus on giving you more information about the stack. And also on the second part, we will focus on a much more granular vision of OrbisDB and going through the data lifecycle. So in this presentation, we will basically go into different diagrams, just to be sure that you visualize the steps and also the stack much more easily. So first part will be about the OrbisDB overview. So OrbisDB is composed by three different components. The first one is the OrbisDB instance, composed by an SDK, basically to interact with your instance with different set of functions. A second part, which is the interface, friendly user interface to explore your data, to query it, to visualize it as well. And a plugin store to access very specific crypto features in order to personalize your database. This OrbisDB instance is connected to a Ceramic node. It's basically helping you to write content into the network, and so the two are interconnected. Obviously, your Ceramic node is part of the entire network, and you will be able to distribute the streams and your contents in the entire network. A second element, very important into OrbisDB, is having a Postgres database attached to your OrbisDB instance. It means that you basically store, additionally to your Ceramic node, in a Postgres database in order to easily query this data back to your application, and also to have scalability benefits and also very flexible and efficient queries. So this is why we choose this architecture of three components: a software, a Ceramic node, and a Postgres database that are all working together to serve your objectives. Now, if we take a step back and we see the Ceramic stack overall, we just wanted to make it clear that OrbisDB is basically directly connected to the network. We're using an API that calls the data feed API from Ceramic. We are the same level at ComposeDB. We are getting closer to full composability between the two solutions. And your application are basically able to choose multiple ways to index your contents from Ceramic. Let's go now in the user data lifecycle. So here in this section, we will basically go much more deeper into the journey of a stream that is being generated by a user. So the first part is here a user will basically authenticate. So this is the first steps. We need to generate or to ask the user to log in and to create a decentralized identity. So basically what's going on here is you have one function in the OrbisDB SDK that helps you do that. So this user needs to have an identity into the network in order to generate streams and to own those streams. And so we need to create this identity to this person. So we need to generate a deed session. This deed session can basically created in two ways. You can either create a deed PKH or a deed key. What it means is that deed PKH are mainly focused for users. So it's users that connect through a provider, so a wallet that he already own, either EVM or Solana or Tezos today. And basically they just need to sign one message via their wallets, and they create the deed PKH directly. The second option is about the entity. So most of the time, nodes or organization creates a deed key in order to generate actions into the network that are not really attached to a specific user, but much more attached to, as I said, an entity. And so you generate a seed that is linked to this deed key that you need to secure. So as soon as you have that, you can go into the next step. So this user will log in, generate a deed key or the deed PKH, and now you basically want to create a stream. So generate an actions from a user. You want to take this action and create a JSON document, basically. So two ways of doing it. The first one is using the OrbisDB SDK. So there is a function in the SDK that is very straightforward, .insert, which allow you to basically add any data into Ceramic and to store it there, as well as being able to visualize it on your OrbisDB instance. And second way to generate actions and generate streams into Ceramic is a capability that OrbisDB offers, so the plugins. And in this, for this one, is basically using an API data source. So you take an API, you query it, and you basically generate your streams via deed key this time, as we described earlier, and basically start the process of creating a stream. The process really starts here. So first, and this is really important on Ceramic, Ceramic is really about structured data. So every data that is stored on Ceramic follows a model. This model helps discover, query content more easily into Ceramic. So the first step is choosing a path. It's either you create your own model because there is none in the network already, or you have a very, very specific models to follow. And so you basically create a model. The model can be a function into the SDK, or you can find a model that exists today. Like, for example, there is the project profile created by the network, or you have the Gitcoin passport stamps, you have also the post from Orbis, so multiple models that exist today with existing data that you can basically decide to follow and generate contents following the same structure. As soon as you have your model, you're going into the second step, which is the context. So we created a context, the concept of context at Orbis that basically helps structure your data for your application. So what I mean by that is in the network, you have a bunch of models and streams, and we add a layer of organization for you. So you have the ability to create context or subcontext to basically structure a bit more your data and helping you define different rules or different behaviors for the specific data among this context. So the first one here that you should do as the context creation is, for example, your application. So just you have a main context, which is your application, and every content streams that you will create into Ceramic will be tagged with your context, your application. Then you just need to bring a value. So it's basically you have a JSON file that is now structured with a specific model, with a specific context. Now you just need to put elements into your JSON file. So a value can be a social post, it can be a credential, it can be whatever you want to store on Ceramic. So this is one example of a stream. You have much more examples on salescap.com, but here it's very simple. You have a controller, so the deed PKH that generated the stream, or a deed key, depends. A model, so as I said, you define your model, and then the model is basically attached to the stream just to see what is the structure of this stream. You have a context, you have commits. So commits is something that I'm not really describing here, but just explaining that on Ceramic, every streams that you create, you can basically modify this stream and generate different commits over the time of this stream. And so basically you have the ability to go back in different history version of your stream. So very, very, very useful for social behavior or any data that is mutable over time. And then you have the value. So here you have a field which is body, and it's basically filled with a hello value. So as soon as you have that, all this information, the model, the context, the stream value, or the did session are basically stored on Ceramic. So everything is stored by default on Ceramic, and what OrbisDB provide is a layer of indexing on top of it. So as soon as it's stored, the OrbisDB, your OrbisDB instance will pick up the new streams being generated on Ceramic, and you can apply many different rules. So this is where the plugins comes to play. So you have the ability to choose multiple plugins on OrbisDB to operate different action. The very simple one is token gating. So basically you can say, oh, this stream has been generated on Ceramic, but I want to be sure that this stream is potentially generated by a user that owns a specific token. And if not, I reject the stream on my indexing solution, so on OrbisDB. If it works, yes, I can accept that and basically add the stream into my context and have it on my database. So it's really a way to mix or allow you to create or personalize the data that is being stored on your OrbisDB instance via different features pre-built directly into the interface. So now the streams are stored. You applied or not different plugins, and basically stored on your Postgres database, as I said earlier. So your interface is basically now being able to query and to see what is going on in the Ceramic network, and basically track every action that you've done using your context or your models, and also tracking your streams. If I'm going down, you also have like plugins that are being able to generate action post indexing. So okay, you have indexed, for example, a new stream, and you want to generate a blockchain transaction after that. So Ceramic streams indexed, boom, it generates automatically an action on the smart contract, for example. A perfect example of that could be you generate a bunch of credentials, very, like a large number of credentials, and only a very specific one could be minted on chain. Now, the ability to basically to visualize the data through data tables. So it's part of OrbisDB. Within your interface, you can visualize that into different data tables. You can create SQL definition in order to create very specific views, and those views can be basically queried into your application. So the method functions to achieve that is .select, and you can choose by value, by context, by model, or by views, and basically query it in your application after that. So here it is. We have the full data lifecycle of OrbisDB and how do you store streams on Ceramic. It's pretty abstracted, obviously, just to be sure that it's very simple to get it. But you have all the steps here, and on the second video, we will much more focus on a concrete example of the OrbisDB instance and also an application that is live today. Thanks a lot.